Hello, Smoky Valley patrons. Today is July 9th. It's time for another little update, and just so you know, we will be doing this much more often. Some of you are requesting to know what's going on. We haven't seen a video for a while. Well, you'll be seeing them much more now as we get closer to school. A lot of things are happening now, finally. We've kind of waited through the summer till today. It's July 9th, where we were waiting for a release from the Kansas State Department of Education. We're going to provide us with guidelines, and they did so. The guidelines we received today are well over 1,100 pages, and I haven't read them all. And we'll be working on those tonight and over the next few weeks. As we are putting our committees together right now, we have 10 committees that are developing and will be completed by next week as they work through some of the scenarios and the protocol that we hope to have in place, because our goal is to bring your kids back to school physically in the environment. Now, I know that makes a lot of people nervous. Some people are very relieved. Thank you, take my kid. They need to be in school. I agree with you, they do need to be in school. But we have some things we need to follow, and we're working very close with our county health official, Shaylee Shea, and she'll be giving us guidance. We'll meet with her again tomorrow. We'll meet with county commissioners tomorrow. This afternoon, we did receive the guidelines from the State Department, and they're broken down quite a bit to give us some direction on all of the different areas that we'll be focusing on. We have 10 committees that are being formed, everything from daily operations, cleaning and disinfecting. Our food service committee has been meeting for quite some time now. Transportation committee, classrooms and common spaces. Music is one that has their own committee because of the emission of our breath when we breathe and sing and play horned instruments. So they'll be doing quite a bit of work to determine how they're going to handle their situations. Physical education and recreation and our recess time. One of the most important committees to some of you may be the extracurricular and co-curricular activities. Are we going to have sports? Well, Keisha is supposed to be releasing something, we think next week, some guidelines on sports. But that, again, is one of those things that can change at the drop of a hat. What's the NFL going to do? What are professional college organizations going to do? And high schools may have to follow the same guidelines as well. We don't know. Sports are very important to our kids. That brings a community together. It gives kids some activities to look forward to and to work with as a team. So we hope that we're able to do some of that. So as these committees begin developing protocol to put in place as a district, we'll continue to keep you informed. Probably a couple of times a week we will be shooting out a video, maybe more often than that as we move closer to the start of school. Enrollment will begin that first week of August. New students, I think, is August 6th. The first day of school is August 20th. We don't look to change our calendar. We look to be following that same calendar, but we need to keep people safe up until that time that we begin. Now, as I said, our goal is to get our kids in school. First and foremost, we need to keep them safe. So school is not going to look the same. We will have protocol as students enter the building. At Soderstrom and also at the middle school and the high school as well. Students gather in large groups at the beginning of the day. That's an important time for them, a social time to gather. In the middle school, they have activities going on in the middle school gym. Those things will not be happening. We have to keep our students isolated a little bit more in their smaller groups. We may be asking you to not bring your students so early. Our transportation might look a little bit different as well, as students might get assigned seats. We're going to talk about masking and taking temperatures as students walk in the door. A little bit of a relief. Some research has recently told us, and in fact some of the guidelines from CDC have told us that our younger students may not have to be wearing masks, at least the full time, maybe during transition, but They don't have to be wearing masks. So we'll see how that comes out as we look at daily operations for our kids, because I know that is a concern for some people too, to be wearing masks all day, what that does to our kids, what it does for social, emotional, etc. But we'll keep you updated as these teams get put together. We have an all-staff meetings planned for next week on Thursday. We'll be creating these teams and working to put together a full plan. I just talked to our school board president. We have a special meeting planned now for August 10th, and that's when we'll be approving our full plan. But we have no problem keeping you updated on what our proposal is, how we're going to move forward. But we need to be ready at the drop of a hat to teach our kids at home if we have to do that. The remote learning is a possibility as continuous learning, but we also promise you that our continuous learning will look much better than it did last year when we had about a week to prepare for that over spring break and then bringing our kids back in. So we'll be looking at that as well. Our number one goal is to bring them into the buildings, but as kids get quarantined and orders come down from our state, or most importantly from our county, we may have to resort to something else, either a blended model where students come less often or not at all for a period of time, and we'll be teaching them remotely through Zoom and some other kinds of technology. We'll have that in place as well. We thank you for trusting us through this whole process. We welcome your comments, and I know I have been getting a lot of questions about what's it going to look like. We hope now that we're much closer to that we're going to be able to tell you what it's going to look like, and it will be different. But we look forward to seeing your kids. We need them in our buildings. We need them to support you as well so that you can be out in the workforce and continue to support the economy. But I need you as a parent to be ready to keep your child at home if possible. If you need help with internet services, contact our district office. We'll see what we can do to help support that, because that is a very real possibility as well. I'm concerned that most of this next school year we're going to be working through these issues. We don't want to lose a lot of academic time with your kids. Look forward to hearing from me more often, and I want to bring you more positive news. But in the meantime, Kansas is a hot spot in the nation. I ask you to please stay safe, do your part, so that we can have your children back at Smoky Valley in the public schools. We thank you for all the support that you have given us. Thank you.